Thank you, Danilo. Former Prime Minister Yacenyuk, Deputy Chairwoman Kondratyuk, Secretary Danilov, and all those joining online, I'm honored to be with you, if virtually, as you work together to support Ukraine's freedom, sovereignty, territorial integrity, and the right of every Ukrainian to live in peace and dignity. I wish I could be with you in person today, but I'm actually next door in Poland, delivering the same message at the OSCE Ministerial that I wanted to share with you today. And that is, as President Biden and Secretary Blinken have said unequivocally, the United States will stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. Because the American people understand you're not only fighting for your own survival, you're fighting for all of us. Putin's attempts at violent conquest, his war crimes, his nuclear blackmail, his Hunger Games, and now his effort to freeze Ukrainians as winter deepens, must be defeated. Because if they are not, the world will be a much more dangerous place. Not only will Ukraine's light as a sovereign democratic nation fighting for its own future be extinguished, but every small and medium-sized nation around the globe living next to a big nation with a big military will wonder if they are next. As you know, the United States has led the world in providing unprecedented levels of military, economic, and humanitarian support to Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. And President Biden has just asked Congress for an additional $37 billion to ensure Ukraine not only survives, but thrives as a sovereign, secure, and democratic nation, and that Vladimir Putin suffers a strategic defeat. And earlier this week in Bucharest, Secretary Blinken met with his G7 counterparts and NATO allies to rally additional support to restore and defend Ukraine's electricity grid. He announced $53 million in critical electric grid equipment from the United States, on top of some $50 million in generators we have already provided. Putin must not be allowed to achieve with darkness and cold what he have failed to achieve on the battlefield. And he failed because of the resilience, the bravery, and the strength of the Ukrainian people. And yet, we also know that every family in Ukraine will have at least one empty chair this holiday season. Loved ones lost in battle, by war crimes, displaced far away from home, or called to fight at the front. Every day brings a new round of terror and indignity, masterminded by one man in the Kremlin who can't stand what Ukraine represents. Not na Ukrainie, the edge of some fantasy empire of his, but a free, proud, increasingly successful European state. Americans across our country rejoiced with Ukraine at your independence in 1991. We stood with Ukraine in 2004 and in 2014, and again this year, because your success is freedom's success, and your courage calls all of us to our better angels. Thank you for all each of you is contributing, and for letting me join you virtually today. Slava Ukraini!